I also learned how to make a freestyle with no pattern, the jumper that I'm wearing right here. So I'm thinking, hey, why not? Why can't I make the tiny version? So I figured out the gauge. Hi mamas, welcome to Two Heart Knits. This is a space where knitting meets motherhood, slow living and slow in every stitch. Today I'm taking you along the journey of knitting jumpers for my babies completely without pattern. I will share the yarn I choose, the trial and error behind it, and the little mistake, and how I slowly figured everything out along the way. And honestly, I'm still learning myself, so this is less of tutorial and more like sitting down and knitting together as a friend. So grab your project, get cozy, and let's knit together. Alright, while we're gonna yapping here, I'm also bringing some project here. This is the vest, which is I finished the front, as you can see, and then I'm working on the back here. And then this is the pattern I'm using, so let's get started. First of all, I'm just gonna quick share how I start to knitting. I start knitting in 2025, last year, while I was pregnant with my twins, and then I was really heavily having pregnancy, depression, and anxiety at that time, so I just need something to keep my hands busy. And also back and forth in the hospital so much, so I got so much time while I'm staying in the hospital. And postpartum, after the twins born, I'm still loving knitting, so I pick it up more knitting. I start selling some finishing product into Etsy, and then still continue knitting until now. I also learned how to make a freestyle with no pattern, the jumper that I'm wearing right here. So I'm thinking, hey, why not? Why can't I make the tiny version? So I figured out the gauge, and grab the yarn pretty much and just start making the first jumper for Mika, which is turned out really nice on her. There is some mistake that I would like changing along the way, so pretty much I write the pattern while I'm knitting the first version, and after that I make the second version. So I'm gonna show you the yarn I'm using for the first jumper here. This is the first baby jumper that I made for Mika, and as you can see, it's quite pretty. The neckline is really nice. Like, it's so easy to put the baby head around it because my kids are really high when the neckline is quite tight. And I'm using the yarn is Abbey Road Merino, Kiki Merino, in the color of coral for this. So it's top to bottom. However, I didn't really adding too much decrease for the arm line, which is, I will talk about it later on. And then I also didn't do any German short row in this one, which is the neckline is quite high, the front of the neckline, and the construction is really easy. This is just a turtle neckline. I fold it into two, and then I knit the yoke along the line all the way up to the armpit, and then I try it first before I split the sleeve and the body, and pretty much go with another jumper that they already have that we bought in store, just to kind of like reference for it. But the second jumper I made, I add more decrease on the arm line, and then you can really see this is now is getting a little bit shorter compared to the another one, which is like mine here is quite wider. I'm also did the German short row here, So you can see the neckline is go down the front, which is nice, and then I love it. Another thing I did differently is the ribbing. The ribbing is inside out, which is make it more tidier. I also did Italian bind off for both of the jumper, so it's quite nice and tidy. I like how Italian bind off is give the neat bind off compared to this one is just like a stretchy bind off. And the yarn I'm using for the second jumper is Malabrigo Mecha in the color of Phoebe. So you can use any type of yarn that you would like to make this baby jumper when the pattern is finally released. You can use any bulky yarn, 14 ply, or you can also use any 2 strand of DK yarn and then hold it together, which is really fun to work if you already have the yarn in your stash. Anyways, I have sent this pattern to the tech editor, which is I'm hoping she can get back to me soon and I can share the pattern with you all into the world. It will be available on my Etsy, and then I cannot wait to see your version too. I'm still working on the adult version because I feel like adult version is much more range in size. So I'm gonna work on it, but it will probably take a little bit more time. But stay tuned for the baby raglan beginner friendly pattern is coming up soon. And thank you all for knitting and listening to my yapping today.